10 more days, I'm going to sit here and explain the entirety of the Metal Gear Solid lore. Alright, so I'm going to go chronologically, and I'm sorry if I stumble and whatnot. We're going to start with MGS3. MGS3 when they send in John, aka Naked Snake, into Russia. MGS3 takes place in during the Cold War, and Russia has grabbed some nuclear scientists, think Einstein, and they kidnapped him, and they have him in a prison camp in Russia. Uh, an underground military group has taken hold of him, and the CIA sends in Naked Snake, aka John, to rescue him. So John goes into Russia, covert op, can't be seen because if the U.S. is seen in Russia, then it's an act of war, and we risk full-scale nuclear war. So John goes in, rescues Sokolov again, think Einstein, um, and then he's betrayed by his mentor, the boss, who we're going to call Lori. They never say her real name, but it's her voice actor is Lori Allen, so we're going to call her Lori. So Lori betrays John, aka Naked Snake, and takes Sokolov back with her to Russia. She defects to Russia, and then she grants her new leader, Konovolgin, two nuclear missiles, and he uses one to destroy the old research facility and prison camp where they had Think Einstein. So that's how that goes. That's the virtuous mission. And then Operation Snake Eater commences. The U.S. and Russia are in talks over what happened when they tried to kidnap Sokolov, and Russia sees it. The Prime Minister of Russia sees it as an act of war, and the U.S. is stating that it wasn't them. There was an airplane above the Russian skies when that happened, and it was a USA airplane. And so the only way to prove the United States' innocence is to send John back in and kill Lori, the boss. Excuse me. Kill Kornovogen and see if they have any nuclear weapons. Stop that, and then hopefully bring back Think Einstein. So Naked Snake goes back in. This is Operation Snake Eater. He gets to Sokolov, aka Einstein. They kill him. He kills all of the boss's henchmen. Gets to Colonel Volgin, kills him. Uh, Before this, he's supposed to run into a double agent that's working for the CIA, but it's also working for Russia, named Adam. But Adam doesn't show up. He does though. Adam is Ocelot. He shows up, but he has a bunch of soldiers with him. So he was probably going to take Snake to jail or find some way to talk to him privately. But instead, Eva shows up, and Snake ends up talking to Eva and trusting Eva. Eva is actually a triple agent. She's working for China, pretending to work for the U.S., pretending to work for Russia, but she's working for China, and she's also working for the Philosophers. The Philosophers is a overarching theme in the series. It consists of America, China, and Russia, and a huge amount of money that they have. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, Ocelot, Eva, and the boss are all members of the Philosophers. So anyway, so Snake is then tasked also with destroying the nuclear warheads, and he does that when he takes down Colonel Vogan, and then he's finally tasked with returning the Philosopher's Legacy to the States, which is a huge, large sum of money. I think it was like trillions of dollars. Um, he gets the Philosopher's Legacy off of the boss, Lori, who dies in their fight. Lori was actually a triple agent working for the CIA the entire time. She was supposed to infiltrate Russia, get under Colonel Vogan's good side, and then bring the Philosopher's Legacy back. But once Colonel Vogan destroyed those nukes in the Russian prison camp slash research facility, the U.S. needed a way to prove the United States' innocence. So the boss, aka Lori, had to die. That was her mission. Her mission was to die, and she did so gracefully. So Snake gets the Philosopher's Legacy, gets the trillions of dollars, kills Colonel Vogan, kills the boss, and destroys the nuclear warheads. And then him and Eva have an affair. They sleep with each other, and Eva uses this time to take half of the money and she also tells Snake that the boss was a triple agent the entire time and in cahoots with the CIA. So Snake realizes that he murdered his mentor even though he didn't have to. And then that's Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake is codenamed Big Boss. He feels bad about murdering his mentor, the boss, Lori. And Eva disappears for a while. Ocelot also disappears, and then we go into Peace Walker. I'm going to skip Portable Ops. Peace Walker, Snake has gone rogue. He's lost his mind. He can't believe what he did to his mentor, what the CIA made him do, and he starts his own military company, his own mercenary company called Soldiers Without Borders. It's actually in French, Militaires Sans Frontières or something, so it's MSF. Runs into this business-minded guy named Kaz, and so begins Peace Walker. They get contracted by the KGB, which are Russians, to go work in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. It turns out that they have nukes, and that the CIA is planning to launch a nuke so that they have this computer control the nuke that will automatically launch a retaliation strike, and that's in hopes to show the world that the U.S. isn't afraid to launch any more nukes. Like they'll do it. So Snake goes into Costa Rica, goes into Nicaragua, builds up his military group, and eventually meets Chico and Amanda, who are members of the FSLN revolutionaries down in Costa Rica. And then he topples the CIA, gets the nukes out of Costa Rica, and meets Paz along the way. And then Paz ends up being a double agent for the CIA as well. So she turns on Big Boss, and she takes Big Boss's nuclear weapon because Big Boss is able to make a nuclear weapon during this time, and uses it against them. Big Boss is upset, but Paz wants him to join with Zero, who was an original member of the Philosophers, to create the Patriots. Um, Big Boss doesn't like that idea. They have a war of words over what Lori, aka the boss's final speech was, and Big Boss takes down Paz, and then we get to Ground Zeroes. In Ground Zeroes, Zero and Skullface, we're unsure who, but it's mostly going to be Skullface. Although Big Boss probably thinks it was Zero. Kidnap both Chico and Paz and have them in Camp Omega, aka Cuba, aka what's the name of that prison in Cuba? Well, you know the one, the prison camp in Cuba. What the heck is the name of that prison? Well, the black site that the U.S. has in Cuba. I can't think of the name right now. It escapes me. So anyway, Big Boss goes in there, rescues Chico, rescues Paz. Paz has bombs inside of her, and when he gets back to Mother Base, which is where his Soldiers Without Borders are stationed, they've been taken over by Zero and the CIA. Paz then jumps out of a helicopter because she has a bomb. She blows up. Giant explosion, runs into Big Boss's face. Helicopter goes down, and then that's where the Phantom Pain starts. Tune in tomorrow where I'll be covering the rest. That's the lead into the Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain will be out in 10 days. We're at 10 more days, and I will be covering the rest tomorrow. V for victory.